Hi everyone. We're gonna give everyone just a few minutes to get started on Hiking 102. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hi everyone. So in the meantime, while we wait for everyone to join, why don't you guys tell me what state you are joining in from? Would love to see where everyone is joining from. So we're doing Hiking 102 today. We're going to discuss everything that has to do with hiking gear. And I'm going to show you some different items that I bring on the trails, and then I'm going to ask you guys to also participate. William is chiming in from Arizona, Illinois, Tuolumne, California, Arizona. Nice. Hey, Utah. Hi. So I'm just going to give everyone just like a minute or more to get into or to join the call today. Our live Virginia. Hey, Virginia. And we've got someone from Hawaii. Awesome. Hey, New York. I hope you're doing okay. I know there's like a lot going on. Washington, California, Michigan. Awesome. Minnesota. Whoa, we're joining in from all around the US. That's awesome. I really hope you guys are staying well, and you know that everyone's practicing mindfulness right now. It's kind of such a strange time we're all going through. It looks like we have someone from Riverside, Illinois, more California. Awesome. So I'm from California. I live in Orange County. And it is definitely been interesting. I'm just getting my PowerPoint presentation situated here, you guys. Anyhow, it's just been interesting to see the changes that, a lot of places in California, we're not able to go out. We have some people joining from California, Glendora, Utah, San Diego. Awesome. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I think this is kind of like our group for now. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our talk for today, which is all on Hiking 102. So as we're going through, I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to ask you to chime in, give your tips. So let's start off with last week we touched on Hiking 101. And so Hiking 101 was everything that had to do with like the 10 essentials, how do you get started, and all of that. So I hope you joined last week. If you joined last week, let me know in the comments. Would love to know. But today we're going to talk about, once you start hiking and the proper gear that you want to invest in or get once you've started your hiking journey. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with like the basics, and I'm going to pull some of the items that I have here, and don't make fun of me because I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty. So let's start with our hiking socks. Okay. So what you want to do is once you start hiking longer hikes and, like elevation and stuff like that. Hi, Lindsay. You want to grab socks that are going to be wool and that are going to be thicker. So these socks are going to give you more cushion. You can see the inside of them. And these are going to help with, things like just having more cushion. When you're on these long, crazy hikes, you're definitely going to want something that's going to help you to be comfortable. So hi, everyone that's just joined. So that's first and foremost. So wool socks, and make sure that they're also like, if you can get something that's breathable, because if you're out on the trails all day long, you definitely want to make sure that your socks are not super, super moist by the end of the day. That can cause blisters, etc. And we can actually talk about blisters because I mentioned to you guys, hi there, cute Quinty is on the call. And by the way, when I'm speaking, go ahead and feel free to add your favorite socks that you use when you're hiking. Mr. Fantastic says they are nice when you hike on dirt and dust, keep your feet clean. Yeah, absolutely. Is wool socks too hot for California? No, Sweats, I'm sorry, I'm not saying your name right, but no, they're not. And you can get these in smaller sizes, like you can get them like ankle length and stuff like that. But again, remember, if you're going for a local hike, 1 to 3 miles, you don't need this. This is if you're going like 6 miles and more. I would recommend you invest in a pair of wool socks. You can actually add your favorite brands as well. These are just basic REI wool socks. There's Smart Wool, and then I also like Darn Tough socks. They have really great ones. There we go. Rock Steady Sarah said Darn Tough socks are great. So this is something you'll want to invest in. And then I was saying that I did the John Muir Trail. We'll get back to your questions in a moment. So I did the John Muir Trail, and I ended up having blisters, and I'll tell you one of the reasons why. I actually didn't realize it, but one of my socks, the sock was actually larger than my foot size. I didn't really realize it until I was on the trails for days, and the back was rubbing on my heel and creating blisters. And there's ways to treat blisters, which we can talk about, but you definitely want to make sure your socks fit like your foot exactly, you know? So make sure that when you get your socks that you try them on and they fit. The reason why we love REI as well is because they let you return anything within a year. So if it doesn't work, return it. So let's see your questions right now. Questions are, Quinthy says, Root Republic is a San Diego company and makes cool socks. She loves them. Okay, cool. Do you recommend blended wool socks? I mean, that's Salvi Nomad. It depends, you know, what I do is I always look for a hiking sock. It's specific to hiking. So when you go looking for your socks, make sure that they recommend that sock for that activity. Let's see. We have Kathleen loves yoga. Darn Toughs are her favorite. Gotta love the lifetime warranty. Yeah, I wear Darn Tough and I really like them as well. So what do you recommend for people with allergies to wool? So that's a great question. I would probably need to look up the answer for that one because I'm not 100% sure. But see, here's the thing. This wool, and you might want to double check. The wool that you might be referring to is the wool that like is kind of pokey, because I remember I've had allergies to that, where this is a spun wool and it may not have the same effect. So you may want to try that out, but also I don't have the exact answer for that question. If anyone knows the answer, please feel free to tune in and let me know. And then Lindsay actually recommended to do a silk liner, which I actually have and will help with blisters. And if you're in cold weather, if you wear the liners, it actually helps to keep your feet warmer. So those are some great tips, you guys. That's why I love having you guys be a part of the community and the chat today. And by the way, what are you guys, what was your drink choice for this chat? I'm just doing water because I've got to go exercise later. So I would have loved to have had a glass of wine or something, but I'm going to stick to water. What are you guys drinking? Let me know in the comments. Kathleen loves yoga. JMT was her favorite section of the PCT, right up there with Washington. Okay, first off, congrats if you did the PCT, because I barely made it through the JMT, and everyone says the JMT is the hardest part of the PCT. So, yeah, disclaimer. Everyone seems to love Darn Tough socks. Okay, Sweeters wants to know where she can watch the 101 video. We actually published it on YouTube. So go ahead and look us up on YouTube and you'll find the 101 video from last week. All right, everyone. Oh, so you guys are all having water. Good job. Someone's having a beer, water with lemon. Water for now, wine later. Coffee, water, and wine. All right. All right. So great job. Thank you guys for being a troopers. So let's jump into the next thing. For women, men, not so much. This isn't needed for you. But women, we definitely need to wear a sports bra, right? And so I don't know what your favorite sports bra is. Feel free to, like I said, share. But I absolutely need to, always carry one. This is the latest one I've got from REI, and it's moisture wicking. And I love it because it actually works well for like yoga and stuff like that. But anyhow, for women, you absolutely want to have moisture wicking sports bra on. Like I said, don't make fun of me because I'm going to get into the intimates here. And I'm going to actually get into the intimates for men and women. Let me grab, there's one more piece that I'm missing. Can't forget the most important thing, moisture wicking underwear. Okay, seriously though, these are ex officio and I love ex officio. Just make sure you wear moisture wicking underwear because the last thing you want is chafing. Now, I've never had issues with chafing. Feel free to, like I said, put your comments, post your comments, I'll respond back. But men as well, you want moisture wicking boxers, underwear, whatever it is that you pick. The only time I've ever had issues with chafing and stuff like that was on the JMT, because it's like day in and day out. You're on the trail every day for miles on end for a long period of time. And so the only thing I could do at that time was to constantly like take a break and then just make sure that I was keeping myself dry. So one of the most important things is make sure your underwear and your sports bra and your clothing is not cotton. Do not go for cotton. Moisture wicking, moisture wicking, moisture wicking. All right, let me see what comments you guys have here since we started talking about undergarments. So let's see. Oh, we've got some people drinking noon water with lemon. Okay, cool. Let's see. So someone's drinking coffee at Ed Harris's. Okay, so right socks are great for her kid who has sweaty palms and feet. They're guaranteed to prevent blisters. Cool. So let's see what else we've got going here. I just want to double check your guys' comments. All right. Oh, okay. So all right, I'm loving these comments, okay, you guys? So just give it a second, because I'm like, there's so many comments right now. Okay, so I'm here where it's talking about someone has chafing issues. Yeah, I mean, you guys, there's a stick. I forget the name of it right now, but you can put on the stick. It's like a glide stick. So try that. And also like, you could try like baby powder or talcum and stuff like that. If anyone has any tips for chafing, please add them. And let's see, did I find them on Amazon or REI? So everything I have that I showed you, I grab it at REI. And sometimes if you go on, during their sale, I can find these on sale for half off. So check out their sale section for sure. Patty says Victoria's Secret sports bras work great for supported moisture wicking. And then your sweet cherry pie says that she hates when her panties move. I mean, I'm sorry, you guys. Someone invent something, because yes, we do not like that. And by the way, we're going to get into pants, but as you're hiking, who's had an issue with Murphs on the trail? All right. I'm just trying to make you guys laugh. So still looking for the perfect underwear to wear for long hikes. Yeah, I mean, again, look at these ex officios, try them out, see if you like them. Don't forget, if you're in colder weather, you're going to need long underwear as well. So ex officio is EXFO. Let me double check. EXOFFICIO, ex officio. Okay. And Body Glide, there we go. See, that's the one. So that's the one that, if for those of you that suffer from chafing, that might be a really good, definitely see that's what everyone seems to be saying in the comments below. Okay, someone says that they used to get blisters, but they use ING socks. I don't know how you say that correctly. 32 degrees has great undergarments. Yeah, absolutely. Hi there, everyone. Okay, so Body Glide is available at Target. I don't know if it's available at REI. Murphs, all right. So honestly, running shorts with a liner worked for me for through hiking the PCT. Yeah, I mean, PCTers, you have a look, and I'm not gonna lie, me and my partner Connie, we wanted to emulate you guys. We were like, when we exit, we're going to go to the store and we're going to get the PCT look so we look cool. And the PCT look, if I can say this, it's running shorts, a moisture wicking shirt, like a cute and fitted one, a runner's cap. It's fun. But anyhow, you guys, let's get into, so for the men, like I said, the boxers, the briefs, make sure you have moisture wicking. Let's get into shirts. So once you have your undergarments on and you have your base layers on, again, if you're in cold weather, you're going to definitely want some long underwear, and your base, you'll probably want something like a long sleeved base layer. So once you're done with, the basics, you're going to get your shirt, right? So depending on where you are in California here, this is one shirt I like wearing out. It's just a moisture wicking, just very basic shirt. And it's great just for getting outside. So feel free to, like I said, add your comments for shirts, what you like wearing. So this is one option, right? Let me give you some other options. Okay, one day, if it's possible, I would love to reinvent hiking clothing for women. But for now, this shirt is from Mountain Hardwear, and it's like your basic, it's almost like, I don't know, I want to call it like an adventure shirt. So a lot of these shirts that are available via REI or whatever, they have air vents. So like as you're sweating, they keep you cool. The good thing about these shirts, even though they're not super attractive, is that it really protects you. Like this one has UV protection, and it keeps you cool. Believe it or not, sometimes people think that wearing less is more, and actually it's better for you to wear more, and then than to have like a short sleeved and then you get burned, and there's other things. But this being more protected, and especially like when I did the JMT, covering yourself to protect yourself from the UV rays was really important. They also make these shirts now that have bug repellent and stuff like that. So depending on where you're hiking, you may want to treat your clothing with, permethrin or something for ticks. It really depends, but this is a great option for men and women. And same with the shirt that I mentioned earlier. This is great for men and women. So it's just a very basic shirt. So let me read your comments now that we're talking about shirts. So, all right. Oh, yeah. I nailed the JMT look. Glad we did. 32 Degrees is awesome brand and available at Costco. They have shirts, thermals, jackets, etc. Okay, cool. I'm all for it. If you guys find a brand that you like, Lindsay, she loves Columbia. I agree. Columbia makes some pretty nice shirts. And Quinthy also, she concurs. Patty Vittori says she loves Mountain Hardwear shirts for women. Yeah, totally love them. And Patty also says that REI brand also has great ones. I agree with you. Like those are my go-to. And then your Sweet Cherry Pie says, oh wow, bug repellent in shirts. Cool. Yeah, just look them up, you guys. When you're shopping, look them up. Now, let me talk to you really quickly about why I'm recommending the gear I'm recommending. Now, when we're first starting out, it's easy to just put on a shirt, put on a pair of for women, for example, put on a pair of yoga pants for men, put on a t-shirt, and put on your basketball shorts, right? Like great for starting hikes, no problem. I absolutely think that if you get out the door, let's do it. However, as you continue your hiking journey and you start pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, you want to have the right gear because of two reasons. One, you want to protect your skin from the sun, obviously, from, animals and ticks and things of that. So mainly ticks is what I was going to get into, mosquitoes. And that's why I said this long sleeve shirt is good for protection. But if you start doing things that are like more off trail, or like maybe trails that aren't as maintained, you start like running into bushes and into other into other like flora and fauna on the trails. And so what happens is this type of material, it just brushes off. Whereas if you're wearing like a cotton or the yoga pants, you're going to get pricked. It's really, really easy to tear your pants, versus if you're wearing a shirt like this, again, things just kind of tend to like slide right off. So with that being said, we're going to jump into like the bottoms of your outfits. So this applies to men and women. And again, add your comments. I will read them as we go. But my go-to, and what I always recommend when I do talks, is I do something like, these are Pronto Pants. And what I love about these, and these can be bought for men and women at REI. They have an REI version. I just pulled out my Pronto ones for this talk. But these, number one, they have pockets, ladies, which I know is always a huge complaint. Secondly, you can turn these into shorts. You're having a really hot day, or you want to dip your feet into like the lake or whatever. These are convertible, so you can actually make them into shorts. And I love these pants because I also take these when I travel. So you see, showing them to you. And then they also have like 3 layers. So like you can also turn these into capris and stuff like that. Feel free to keep adding your questions and or comments below. REI also has these Same thing with the pants, you know, as you're trekking and doing peaks and stuff and you're brushing up against different things, it's really simple for the brush to just kind of pass through. And then again, remember, keeping your legs, you know, covered for ticks and stuff like that. This is a great option. These pants also, some brands have them available where they also have UV protection, you know, they have bug repellent already included. Just, you know, you have to do a little bit of your due diligence, but I really recommend these for men and women. And again, great pants for travel, great pants for hiking, great, I would call them almost like adventure pants. So let me look and see what comments you have right now. So we have, okay, just a sec, because oh, sorry you guys. Wrong way here. Okay, so we're down here. Okay, so Salvi says she wears a ton on the trail. Not sure what a ton. Let's go back into. Okay, so Rocksteady Sarah says she loves Prana. Yes, pockets, and they accommodate us ladies with big booties. So actually, you know, just again, I don't work for Prana or anything like that, but they do tend to actually fit quite nicely, and it's dependent upon your body size. I just know that, you know, I've tried on a bunch of different brands and I really like Prana and their fit, but let's see. We have cotton is rotten. I love that. Kathleen loves yoga. Absolutely. You got to stay away from cotton. Again, remember, the reason why you want to stay away from cotton is because it retains moisture, which will cause the chafing. If you get stuck in a storm or in a cold situation, you could get hypothermia. Cotton retains moisture. Never, ever wear cotton. These pants are, I'll tell you what kind of material, if it has it in here. I think it's like, no, I don't have the, let me see if this one has it. It's pretty much the same material. All right, let's see, you guys. What kind of material are we looking at? So nylon, polyester. It looks like those are the different materials that make this up. So Ed has 2 pairs of those pants. They're great. And Salvi wants to know if these are quick drying. Yes, they are quick drying. So again, I wore these on the John Muir Trail. I take these when I travel. A lot of times I have to wash stuff when I'm on the road, and then the next day they're dry and stuff like that. Rocksteady says Patagonias are amazing. They dry super quick. Marnie says, do you layer those pants as well? Yes. So remember what I said earlier. If you're in colder weather, I always wear base pants, base leggings, and you can look at different ones like Smart Wool. REI has their own. You can have, there's different ways of doing that, right? Just make sure that it's breathable and moisture wicking as well. Because what happens is when you hike, you start getting hot, and you know, even though you may start off cold, you may actually end up being super hot if you wear the double layers. So Quincy says, don't forget to wash the legs at the same time. Otherwise, they fade differently. Yeah, I've heard that one before. So that's a good tip, you guys. Let's see what else we've got. Do you use bands on ankles in rough hikes? Lovina 999. I'm guessing you're talking about wearing some sort of support. Now, Lovina, what I recommend is that you wear trekking hiking boots. And so try not to wear like trail runners, which are down to the ankle. If you need the support, get a good boot. I know that Merrell and Salomon have like good starting hiking boots. Let's see, Patty says, when I do less than 5 miles, I do leggings with side pockets for comfort, but anything more than that, I do REI brand pants that can turn into shorts. Yeah, absolutely. Same here. I mean, again, I'm not knocking yoga pants. They're great for like short hikes, not a problem, but definitely want to make sure that you definitely have the right pants for the right adventure. So Salvi says she sweats a ton on the trails. Are they quick drying? Yes, they are quick drying. That's why, again, we talked about it. Lindsay Rourke says she likes the 511 tactical brand, strike style. She wears it for scouts and hiking. Super durable. And by the way, yes, I will tell you guys this. I've had these pants like 3+ years. So, and then, you know, they end up like, if they end up getting tears and stuff, you can buy patches and stuff like that to, see, these actually have a little bit of a tear now. But I do a lot of different things where sometimes I'm sliding down rock. I do rock climbing, things like that. So you could put a little piece of there's something called no-sew patches. You could go online and check them out. But they're like little patches to patch up any damaged, like, we're going to get into it. But let's say you mess up your puffy jacket. You can actually go ahead and grab that. And you know what? I'm going to make some notes because I'm going to redo this class tomorrow on Facebook Live. So feel free to tune in then. But I'll bring these so you guys can see them. No-sew patches. So you just put them on, and if you have a tear, it fixes it. So let's see. As you progress in your hiking, listen and observe your body, temperature, sweat, etc. From there, adjust your clothing to complement those variables. Love it. Cham I am. I don't know if it's Cham or Cam I am, but thank you. That's great. Ramona recommends Loa boots. I have people that love those boots. And Rocksteady Sarah says she wore REI base layer leggings under her Pronto Pants when she hiked in the 30s in Scotland. Yeah, absolutely. Someone loves the cool trekker. Can you link the items recommended when you post it into YouTube? Yeah, actually, if you go to our website, 52hikechallenge.com, there's a recommended gear list if you go to the store, and you can look the men's and women's up, and then there's a blog post. But yes, great tip. I will add a link to store items plus blog. Absolutely, that's a great tip. Thank you for that. Oboe's Shoes by Gordon. All right, so you guys, we're gonna move into, we've talked about our base items, our main items, and now let's talk about what you call, it's a layering system. So let's talk about this. All right, let me jump into, once you have your base item, your base shirt on, you need to think about a sweater. You should always carry a sweater with you. It's one of the 10 essentials. I'm going to take a break and drink water. Okay, so you need a good sweater, okay? So one of the most recommended sweaters that, you know, mountaineers, hikers are told to go for is a good fleece. The reason why is fleece actually does not hold in a lot of moisture. So if it does get wet, it will dry fast. It's really light and it will keep you warm. So what you want to do is you want to have your base layer, a mid layer, and then you have a shell. We're going to get into the shell. Let's say you're in really cold weather. This is my, it's a North Face jacket, and it isn't necessarily fleece, but kind of is from the inside, but this will keep you super warm. Like I could wear this out and like be okay. So depending on your weather, you'll want a fleece or something like that that keeps you warm. Remember, again, make sure you pick materials that are going to be either breathable or that are going to dry quickly if you get stuck in rain, etc., or that can dry and are not going to retain moisture. That's the biggest thing when picking items. So this is one idea. This is men and women, by the way, these tips. I'm just showing you the women's versions, but men, same situation, same concept. So that's your mid layer, okay? So you always want to have that on every hike. We talked about last week why it's so important to check the weather before you go out. If the weather's going to be bad the night before, don't put your life at risk. It's not worth it. By the way, feel free to keep adding your comments about the mid layer. But now we're going to get into it. This is called the layering system, the way I'm showing you what you bring. Now, I do want to have a little disclaimer. I don't know how, but I recently lost my rain jacket. My next recommendation was going to be a rain jacket. So I don't have the rain jacket, but what I have is the next best thing, which is an actual top layer that is water resistant and also has like the fleece inside. It's an REI jacket. It's windproof. So this is if I knew it wasn't going to rain I would carry something like this if it was going to be really, really cold. This has kept me really warm on tons of mountains that I've climbed throughout the last, 5 years of hiking. I've actually been hiking since 2014, so 6 years now. So I would recommend a rain jacket. That would be my next best thing. But like I said, I don't have it. But whatever it is, your layer, your top layer, your shell should always be something that is windproof, rainproof. Most important thing. Again, think about if you're going to get caught in like horrible weather conditions. You really want to make sure that you have that. All right, let's look and see what we have here. So Rocksteady says she loves Loa's as well. Meryl's cheers. Patagonia. Okay, so Kathleen loves yoga, says she likes the Patagonia R1 fleece hoodie. She brings it on every hike. Yeah, there's so many different things to choose from. But again, what we're trying to do here is give you all the tools so that if you're climbing like a longer day, you're doing a peak or something, you have the right tools. So now, what if it's really, really cold where you're going? And you have a long day. The last thing I'm going to recommend, you make an investment into whatever brand you want is fine, but a puffy. So this one is an REI one, and I just got this one recently, and I love it. It's so warm, and this one's great because it actually has, a hoodie attached to it. So a lot of things that you can do with a puffy include, a lot of times you can actually like make it fit inside of a pocket. If you didn't know that, I'm teaching something new. You can make it like fit inside of the pocket, so then you can stuff it away in your backpack, which we're gonna touch on here in a few moments. And the reason why I recommend this is because when you take a long lunch break, you might get really chilly, especially if you're at the top of a summit or something like that. You're absolutely going to want to have your puffy jacket. Same thing, we talked about the 10 essentials last week. If something, knock on wood, forbidden, you had to stay out overnight. So there we go. There's my puffy jacket in the pocket. And usually every brand has its own way of closing it up and stuff like that. So I'm not really going to spend the time doing that, but let's see what comments you have right now. Kathleen says she had such a hard time finding a rain jacket that worked for her. The Arc'teryx Norvon women's jacket is waterproof and light, worth every penny. My rain jacket was actually a Patagonia jacket, and I loved it because it was super fitted. The one prior to that was a North Face as well. I loved it. I paid about $100. What I've noticed with rain jackets is after a while, they actually lose their waterproofness. So like every 2 years or something, or 3 years, I think you have to replace it. Or there's a way to care for those jackets. Gore-Tex, I know that they said like putting it in the dryer is actually one of the ways to maintain it, but you'll have to do your research when you get your rain jacket. Gordon says, when hiking in the snow, carry a down coat in your pack, put it on when you stop for a break. Yeah, they pack down small. Perfect. Great. Cam says, Rab brand, stretchy and breathable. Warilla. Hey, Warilla Fitness. Hi, everyone. Mountain Hardware Ghost Whisper Puffy. Yeah, Mountain Hardware has some great gear. Kathleen says puffies are good to wear as soon as you get into camp too. Absolutely. Is that a down puffy? 34 degrees north. Yes, it is a down puffy. And would you wear a puffy? Yes, Salvi Nomad. When I did the John Muir Trail this past year, there's some nights that get really, really cold in the mountains, especially when you're backpacking. You absolutely sometimes have to literally put all your layers on. So that's why you would want to have your rain jacket. And the rain jacket will also protect you. I've used the rain jacket for so many different reasons. I've used it to keep my feet warm, etc. So your Sweet Cherry Pie says she gets hot quite quickly, but could start out in such a cold morning. Removing layers, putting them back on. Can't seem to get it right. It's so frustrating. I'd like to hike without stopping so much. You're not the only one. I call it the hiker's dilemma because, you're hot one moment, you're cold the other. So what I find is if you can find clothing that has like zippers and vents, there's some jackets that come with vents under the arms so that you don't stop every few minutes. That helps. Unlayering little by little. And then, you know, I actually try not to stop until I know I'm going to like leave it off. So it's a hiker's dilemma. I don't know that there's an answer, but if you have an answer, let's work on it. I'm all about making life easier. Gordon says, when you stop, put your gloves inside your jacket to keep them warm while you use your hands. Yeah, absolutely. So it's Patty R. This one's just an REI jacket. I forget the name of it right now, but you know, if you look up their puffies, you'll see it in the store. I don't have the brand name right. I mean, I don't have the model. Kathleen loves yoga. Be bold, start cold. All right. Okay, you guys. So you guys have been awesome. I love all your tips, and it is 5:36 and we only have like 20-ish more minutes before the Instagram live kicks us off. So take a sip. We're moving on. All right. So guys, everything we've talked about applies to you. The puffies, the fleece, the rain jacket, everything applies to you. It's just I'm only showing you in the women's edition here. So we're going to talk about three more topics, and that's your day pack, which I would love. Share your favorite day packs in the comments, but I'm just going to briefly touch on day packs. When you're first starting out, number one, again, 10 essentials. Bring a pack on every hike that carries your water. Don't be the person that needs to be, you know, rescued because you didn't have enough water or enough food. Like, don't be that person. Always be prepared. So have your 10 essentials, have your pack. There's 2 different types of packs. I'm going to show you one version today. So if you're going for let's call it a 0 to or 1 mile to 10 mile hike, this pack will work for you most of the time, unless you have professional gear that you're going to be taking. For today's talk, we're going to specifically focus on hiking, not mountaineering. So let me show you the pack I use. Okay. So this is my REI, just like a very simple, like super, really lightweight pack. The other option is to go for something sturdier that might have like some sort of an internal frame that might have more support in your waist. You're going to want something like that if you're going to do something that's like a really long day with equipment. Like I said, because we're just sticking to hiking right now, you may want to have that if you're bringing a group of people and you need to carry more food, more water, etc. as parents, things of that sort. But if you're just going on your own, let's say you're doing like a 10-mile day, something like this is fine. This pack has different like ports for putting things like your water, things like that. This carries everything that I need on my hikes. So feel free to add your comments for what kind of a day pack you use. I tend to use this one. So your day pack is gonna carry all of your stuff we just talked about, like your extra layers, your water, your food, your 10 essentials, your lunch, you name it. Okay, so you definitely want to invest in a pack that they last a long time. I mean, I've had this pack for 4+ years, you know, and I haven't needed a new one. So once you invest in your pack, you're gonna use it for a long time. So let's look at some of the comments you guys had here. So let's see. If you go cold start, let's see. Oh, run. Okay. So I think we were talking about running gear. It's light, warm, and easy to put in your pack. Okay. So water filter. You can add a water filter if you want. We talked about that last week. So Kathleen Loves Yoga said her favorite day pack is the Osprey Tempest 20. She loves the hip belts and all easy access to stash pockets. Yeah, that's why I said, you know, depending on your needs, go to REI and get fitted for a pack that works for you. What do you want? What's comfortable for you? Because I will say this, even though I love my pack and it's small, I always have to like turn it around and like open it up when I have to put like my phone in there if I don't have pockets. So the other option, right, is some people that I hike with, they like carrying a fanny pack and then they put their essentials in the pockets. But if you can get a pack that has those side pockets, why not, right? Quincy says REI will fit you for day packs too with weights. Absolutely. Let's see. So Gordon, Richie's gone fishing. For the person earlier who had a question about wearing clothing that's not wool or socks, I guess there's Wool X, he said. In the summer, it keeps you cool. In the winter, it keeps you warm. It's awesome. Half the price of smart wool and Norwich. There you go. Gordon says for almost all of his hikes, he uses a Mountain Smith Tour lumber pack with shoulder straps. And we have... Let's see. Patty says she loves her Camelback, especially the one for mountain biking due to the compartments. It just has so many pockets and she loves that one. Yeah, I mean, again, you know, you're going to have your own personal, everyone's going to have their own personal favorites and that's fine. I mean, Camelback, I used their water bladder. So I know they have great packs. My friend used it on our trek to Peru the other day. So Lindsay says she found her day pack at the REI garage sale. It's fantastic. It's a North Face 22 with a pouch belt. She would not have a pack without a belt. Yeah, I mean, again, you guys, this is all great tips. Wonder Woman, you might just be tuning in. We're doing Hiking 102. We've been talking all about gear today. Last week was Hiking 101. So that's what we're talking about. Yay. So let's see what else we've got going. We still have a few more comments to go. So yeah, trying on the pack around the store with weight is super important. Go in there, put in all of the items you think you're going to be carrying, and then walk around. See that it works well for you. Fitting is important, Ramona says. Absolutely. Someone loves their fanny pack. And let's see. Oh, okay. Patty Vittori has a great tip. She says, always cover the water filtration hose so water doesn't freeze or get nasty warm. Yeah, I mean, that's an option for sure. And definitely for people in cold weathers, from what I understand. And let's see. I love it. Everyone loves the fanny packs. So Stacy Glad wants a lightweight day pack that has lots of pockets. Again, go to REI or your local outdoor retailer and try out different options. So, all right, we're getting there. Keep drinking your drink of choice. So, let's talk about footwear. I heard some people talking about footwear. So, I'll jump in a little bit and look at your comments. So, okay, footwear. I actually didn't pull out footwear, but I can show you my screen real quick. Give me a sec here. Okay, you see these different options. So this here is going to be more of your trail runner, which I highly recommend for both men and women. If you're going to go do something that's, you know, not super long, something that you're not going to have too many issues with twisting your ankles, etc., like things like that. I think trail runners work really well. I know people who do long days with trail runners, and that's fine if you have strong ankles. If your ankles are not strong, you will want to go for something like this. Now, the nice thing about this kind of a boot that I'm showing you here, this one is a Vosk boot, is that it's also kind of like a trail runner and a boot. So it's pretty soft, it's flexible, but it also still has some ankle support. If you need more support and you know you need more support, go for something more like this. I recommend a boot that is going to be leather, that is going to be a little bit more sturdy. And this is a great boot for long hikes. Plus, you can use this for backpacking. So these are your options when it comes to your shoes. Please share your comments on what you like for the community to check out. I personally love Salomon shoes. I've used all of these brands, Vosk, I believe this is also a Vosk shoe, and I like them as well. And then they have Vibram Soles. Vibram did sponsor us last year, so shout out to Vibram. Those are different soles that you can pick, and they're really great for traction, etc. So we have a video on Instagram Live that talks all about Vibram. So let me move back to the screen so that I could see what kind of comments you guys have left. So let's see. All right. So we have Kathleen Loves Yoga says trail runners for summer and boots for winter and snowshoeing. That's what works for her. And wear the socks you plan on wearing hiking when buying new boots. Yeah, absolutely. Because let's talk a little bit about fitting. One of the most important things is to make sure you get your shoes at least half a size larger, not too tight, because that's what causes people to lose toenails. So what happens is when your shoe fits too close to your toes, you're going downhill. This is your toe against your shoe. That's why you lose toenails. That's why you have, not blisters, but the word I'm looking for is, I'm losing the word here. But anyhow, so that's how we end up with lost toenails. So you want to make sure your boots are, or your shoes are about half a size bigger. You wear your thick socks, which will then, give you a little extra room. But then also the way you tie your shoes. Highly recommend you look up how to tie your hiking boots, especially when going downhill, to keep your heel locked to the back of the boot. You're not hitting the front of the boot. So let's see what else we're going to talk about here. So Salomon Trail Runners, Hiker Mom 29, summer and winter, loves them. On her 8th pair, and every time she tries another brand, she's disappointed. Yeah, and again, it's going to depend on your foot, right? Like if you have a wide foot, you might need Keen. I just tried Keens for the first time, and I've been wearing them hiking. They have more space, but I've been pretty good about most shoes I've been able to work with. There's been a couple of brands that don't work well with my feet, so try on your shoes. More people said Salomon, and Cham I Am says, that you can wear gels, insoles for long distance hikes. There's another brand called Superfeet out there, and you can put Superfeet into your boots or your hiking shoes, and that helps with different things that you might have with your feet. Like you might need more support, more, a little less, etc. Check them out. But yeah, you can wear different inserts, because I know a lot of times the inserts that come in the shoes are not enough for me. And so I constantly move my inserts from shoe to shoe. Let's see what else we've got. Quinthy talked about feet swelling. Absolutely. That's another problem, especially as you're long distance hiking. Your feet tend to swell up. So you want to give your feet the ability to expand in your shoe. Again, if your shoes are perfectly fit, that's where you get into problems. The word I was looking for earlier, by the way, was bruising. Your feet tend to start bruising if you continuously hit your, a toe on the front of your shoe. Loas. Someone loves Loas. We have Rocksteady Sarah here. Anu, Solomon. She says Loas changed. Yeah. Again, you guys have to try whatever it is that works for you. Let's see. We have someone who loves Merrell's. And if you're doing a long distance hike, you will want your shoes to be a size bigger because your feet will swell. Her feet went up a whole size on the PCT. Absolutely. Like one of the biggest things we dealt with, same was issues with blisters, was issues with our feet hurting. Like you're on your feet all day long. So if you're going to do, again, something like the PCT, obviously today's talk is not about long distance through hiking. We're focusing more on day hikes. But that is something to consider. And sock liners, and go try on shoes at the end of a hike. I mean, if people can, that would be a great idea, right? So, and then Marnie says she definitely has problems at the end of the hike with her toes. I mean, I think for the most part, you guys, when you hike for a long, long time and all day long, it's normal that your feet are gonna hurt. It's just think about it, how much your feet are taking, right? All this pressure of up and down, up and down. So here's my recommendation. How about you go get a foot massage after a hike? Who's in? Put your hands up, because, sign me up. I'm in for that. Let's see. So, Lindsay said, by the way, when you're trying shoes on, what you want to do is, if you notice at REI, they have a rock, the downhill rock. Hike up with your shoes, hike down, make sure your toe is not hitting the front of the boot. Someone loves super feet. Are sock liners needed? They have been in my car. No, you don't need them, but hi, W. Garcia. You don't need liners, but they are definitely good for like cold weather and things of that sort. So I don't think they're necessary. W. Garcia says they went for a massage after hiking San Jacinto and it was the best thing ever. Yup. All right, you guys. We've got 9 minutes before the foot massages are the best. Yes. Okay. I love it. I love that we're all in. So we've got like 9 minutes left, and I have seriously loved spending my time with you guys. And, even though we're stuck inside right now, let's be mindful. Let's be kind. Like, it's not the time we're all having a hard time in our own ways. Let's practice kindness, educate yourselves. So I'm so proud of you guys for being here, but I'm not done. We are going to talk about a couple more items, and then I'm going to call it a night and let you guys add in any other comments. Since again, I do have some of these items, but I'll just show it to you here on the screen. So let me show you what we're going to finalize our talk hiking 102 with today. Okay. These are the last items that we briefly touched on last week, but I'll touch on them again. You absolutely should look at investing at some point in some sort of a GPS device. I have the spot here, but a lot of people love the Garmin, device. And something else is trekking poles, and we'll jump into trekking poles in a few. You absolutely should look at some sort of a bladder if you're doing really long hikes. And I'm talking about 6+ mile hikes. Otherwise, you're going to need to carry a lot of these Nalgene's, etc. And so these are the other items we're going to touch on. So, if you're going to carry water bottles, and depending on the weather, if you buy or bring like a hydro flask, they get really heavy. So that's why I picked these items, because I'm trying to minimize the weight you have to carry. And trust me, I know someone here has done the PCT. You actually realize how much weight really affects you. So the more you can start practicing being mindful now of your weight and how to minimize the weight load, going to make your life so much easier. So let's see. We have some messages. So it's Erica, I believe. She says she tends to bring sandals when doing long hikes to take her feet a break, to give her feet a break. Yeah, I mean, I think that sandals are great for breaks. I don't necessarily recommend hiking in sandals unless you're doing something like I said, through hiking. We're not gonna really talk about that, but just be mindful that there are brands that you can wear out there for liability purposes. I don't recommend it. But if you're gonna take a break and you have sandals in your bag, go for it. Take a 1 hour break, give your feet a rest. I usually take a break, take my shoes off, take my socks off, let them sit out and dry out, especially when I did the John Muir Trail. So, and then also, we talked last week, don't forget to pack a bag in your car and leave it with fresh water. That should be in a hydro flask type of a container, because it's going to keep your water cold, or your especially if it's been hot out, right? So have snacks, have your sandals, have fresh clothes, have your wipes, etc. So Patty, yeah, so let me actually tell you, we are doing another session next week. Next week's session is going to be on hike planning, and we're going to talk about how do you register for permits. This is going to be great. Tell everyone who doesn't understand how to get permits to sign up for next week, because I'm going to take you through how do you get permits for hikes. And these are for like treks like the John Muir Trail, or if you want to do something, for example, that requires you to actually get a permit for it. There's so many trails around the world, in the US alone, that require permits. So that's next session for next week. Let's see what else we have. We have Black Diamond are the best trekking poles. Yeah, Patty, I mean, I love Black Diamond too, but I also recently have been using the Lakey poles, which I really like as well. They're really beautiful, and like they're really nice for hiking. So you guys have to pick your poison, pick what works for you, and also at your price level, you know. When you first start hiking, you want to make sure that you have the tools within reason, you know, for your needs. So the trekking poles thing, there's a video in IGTV. I spoke with Lakey, and he talks a little bit about the science behind trekking poles. I've read different articles out there. Some people say they don't work, etc. Some people don't like them because they don't look super attractive. But here's the thing. They've saved me from falling many times. Feel free to share a trekking pole story in the comments. When I did the JMT with my partner, I told her they actually help to stabilize the weight. And so it was extremely helpful to have trekking poles for her. And she actually afterwards was like, oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. It helped with the knee pain and stability, and for sure when you're on rocky terrain. So I highly recommend looking at trekking poles if you're doing longer hikes. Let's see. Are there classes to show how to best use GPS devices? You know, maybe we'll talk about it next week. I'll write it down in my notes so we can quickly. But here's the thing. When you get the GPS device, there's going to be videos that will help you to set it up. And like the spot, you just push a button, and you actually have to go onto the website, set it up. You put in your contacts, who to notify in case of an emergency, and then you hit the emergency button. And so anyways, you've got to basically, you know, once you get the item, I'm sure you can find different resources on their websites. Okay, let's see. So how much water is recommended for day hikes under 10 miles? Okay, I always say bring a liter for and a liter is going to be, actually, let me show you. Okay, I brought these out for you guys. So when I do anything like 6 miles and under, I always bring at least 2 liters. I never know. What if something happens? That's my minimum. If I'm doing more than 10 miles, I absolutely bring my 3 liters. And I always bring my Nalgene with electrolytes, at least half of the Nalgene. So you guys, we have 2 more minutes. So I'm trying to get through as much as I can. Let's see. Let's see what you guys have. I'm just going to double check that because I've got 1 minute, 56 seconds left. Yeah, I mean, Stacy's talking about how the trekking poles have saved her knees and legs. They've made her so much more stable. Yeah, Kathleen loves yoga. Thanks for all your tips, you guys. You know what? Let's talk about that real quick. So the trekking poles also helped when we were crossing different creeks on the John Muir Trail. I mean, without them, it would have been quite a challenge. So that's it for today's talk, you guys. I, again, loved spending time with you guys. We are going to post these videos on YouTube. So if you missed today's talk, or you missed something, you can go back and read it. Hopefully this one goes through. If not, the one tomorrow. We'll be on Facebook Live tomorrow doing the same class. And next week is planning hikes. And maybe we'll touch more on GPS. Have an amazing night, you guys. Stay healthy. Stay positive. Please, please spread kindness and compassion in this time. Remember, everyone's going through their own battle. I appreciate you guys so much. And have a good night, okay? You're welcome. I'm going to stay on to 38 seconds. You are so welcome. You are so, so welcome, you guys. I love this community. I love hiking, and I really hope that you guys find inspiration through nature and Just remember to follow your local ordinances right now, and let's keep the drama to an all-time low, because that's all we want. You know, we just want you guys to be healthy, happy, and well. Bye, you guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all your comments. They've been awesome. Thanks, Ed. Nasito, 67. You're welcome.